Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So some exciting things are happening. We are expanding the Total Cattle Company, which that's what I've started. I've fattened out cows now for the past 2 years. Started small scale, but I'm working my way up. So what we're doing now is Madison and I and my mom and dad want to start a cow-calf herd. So we're going to start raising our own calves. Whatever we don't want to keep for a heifer to turn into a cow and have a calf, we're going to fatten out and we'll sell those as beef. We're also going to get into some hogs, and we're going to have fresh meat that we can sell year round. Madison wants to start a little shop here and sell it, along with some other bakery goods that she wants to make and sell. So I like to raise the cows, I like to pick ear corn, I like to make feed, so that's going to be my part of it. And then the ladies are going to do the actual selling of it. So what I'm doing now is getting the rest of the ground here prepared that the house and shop don't sit on. I've got a few acres here that I'm going to fence part of it and make part of it hay ground. And then as we expand, we'll put some more fence up. But first thing I want to do is get this fence row cleaned back and get some of the little stuff out of the way. I'd like to at least be able to get around my fence with the 15-foot batwing behind the 2940 and mow all the way around the pin or fences. That way I don't have to worry about things encroaching into the fence like small trees, briars, stuff like that. There's a lot of vines on these trees, so I want to get rid of all that crap. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear this strip off here. That sassafras can go, it's covered with vines. I'll clear this strip off. I'll get the big bladed disc and I'll disc it, level it up, and then I'm going to chisel plow the rest of this ground here. Get the chisel plow behind the 8650, and I'm gonna chisel plow all this and get it prepared for hay. It is the end of March, so April's coming, and I'll get the hay planted in April. Now I wanted to get all the hay and pasture planted that way when I go to put up the fence, it's already all done. I don't have to worry about trying to seed around the fence and do tillage work around the fence. And it's gonna be a little bit before we can actually have the cows here, so we're gonna keep them over at my parents', which we already have established pasture over there where I've been fattening out cows for the last couple of years. So we'll just utilize that until this is ready. We actually purchased 2 heifer calves from my buddy Mike. They're over at his place right now. I'm gonna get those in the next week or so. Get them moved over to mom and dad's. Got to get feed ground for them. Just went this morning and got all my additives for my feed. So we're on to big things. I'm excited about it. It's been a dream of mine. I've always wanted to raise cows from calf up, so I'm finally going for it and going to do it. I enjoy the cows. My grandma Gloria, my dad's mom, when I was young, she had cows, and she taught me how to milk cows and how to care for them. And it's just been something. My great-grandpa always had cows. Great-grandpas on both sides had cows. And it's just something I wanted to do. And went for it, got into it. Now I like it. Madison really likes them too. It's going to be cool to have them right out our back door. Before, we couldn't have them at our old place. So every time we'd want to go see the cows or go feed them, we have to get in the car and go for a 12-minute ride. Go see them. Now we walk right out the back door, sit on the back porch and watch them. drink some coffee in the morning, and watch the cows. I mean, they're not all going to be cows. Some will be steers. Might get a bull too. My buddy Mike and I are probably going to talk about getting our own bull, and we'll share it between his herd and my herd. I'm looking to get a few more heifer calves yet this spring. See if I can find a couple more. I like to stay with the Angus, Charolais kind of crosses, Scimitals. I'd like to get a couple Herefords. I always liked Herefords. Thought it'd always be cool to have a purebred Hereford herd. It's like you used to see in the old movies. I forgot what movie that was where they had a purebred herd. I think it was at the... Where was that at? It was an old movie. I can't remember the name of it now. I think it was at the 3 Sixes Ranch that movie was filmed. Say 3 Sixes or 4 Sixes? I can't remember. The ranch that's popular on Yellowstone. That one. It's not the King Ranch. It's 4 Sixes. Yeah. So the 220 Hyundai is helping me today. I'm sorry, Hyundai. It's Hyundai like Sunday. I got in trouble when I went to the Operators Challenge because I pronounce it Hyundai. It's Hyundai. Hyundai like Sunday. Need to get the thumb put on the 690. I've been wanting to do that. I got a thumb off the 270. The 270 thumb and the 200 thumb are both the same width thumbs. It's just the one for the 200 slightly longer because of the quick coupler. So I was going to take the shorter thumb of the two, a little bit lighter weight one, and put it on the 690. I just got to get some thumb brackets made up. Take the arc droid and cut them out. Oops. Darn it. Not what I wanted to do there. Viewer asked me if the 690 could have auxiliary hydraulics put on it, and a John Deere 690B actually could have came from factory with them because they had them for the 699. I'm trying to think of the number of it. I used to know it. There was a Feller Buncher version of the 690. It was a tree shear actually, and it had auxiliary hydraulics to run the bunching head. So yes, a 690B could have been outfitted with some auxiliary hydraulics. They're just levers that stick up between your legs, or from the floor. Alright, I can take these few out. And that is my corner of my property right there. I'm not going to get too crazy taking too many out. Oh, they're caught on the eye on the back of the quick coupler. There we go. This neighbor keeps their yard really nice. I'm just going to leave that one right there in the corner. I'm not going to not going to build any fence down here. I'm going to build the fence more towards the house, halfway across this field here, and keep the cows closer to the house and the shop, and we'll plant the hay down on this side behind all these other homes. That way it keeps the smell away from the houses and things like that. If there's any smells, yeah, it's going to travel, but it's not like they're going to be right in their backyards. Hopefully it keeps raining so I can burn this. Of dirt in there, but that's all right. It'll shake out. Alright, I'm going to get all this cleaned up. I might peel a few more trees out. We'll see. I'm going to look at it from each direction and see what I think. Well, since our loader's not back together yet, we're still waiting on our transmission to get back. I don't have the Bobcat home. It's on a job, so decided to go get the haul truck and use it to carry brush. Some of you have asked me why I don't do this. Well, it's just not something that I've done much of. We have done it in the past. We took a bunch of cottonwoods out one time and had a bunch of cottonwood logs to deal with. So we used the haul truck, stacked them on, hauled them across the job site to where we were actually burning a woods. And because with cottonwood, it's such a wet wood that it takes a lot to get it burning, especially when it's green. So we were clearing the woods that had a lot of oak tree tops and things like that, and a bunch of pine in it. So we hauled it across the job site to where that was, and we burned it in that location. So it worked really well for that. But usually we don't have it with us on every job, so that's why it doesn't really get used much for hauling brush and logs and things like that. I know I talked several times about getting a forwarder for cleaning up brush, and some of you would suggest do like Logger Wade does with Tiny and put log bunks on it and carry brush on it. Well, like I said, it's not like we have it on a job that we're clearing very often. What I'm going to do is just clean up the bulk of everything now, and then I'll get the Bobcat over here. I'm going to go get it probably tomorrow, finish up the project it's on. And just we're burning a brush pile, well actually at my buddy Mike's, and that brush pile wasn't quite burned up yet, so we re-racked it and we're just leaving the Bobcat there until that's done, and then we'll bring it back home. But I figured at least I could get the bulk of this cleaned up, save on track wear on the Bobcat, carrying it all the way to where I want to go with it. I want to go over more by my gravel pit to burn this, and I don't have to worry about smoking anybody out or anything like that. Try to be the best neighbor that I can be, staying good with the other neighbors. Bad thing about the truck is you got to go to it all the time. Like if you had a forwarder, you drive it around and it loads itself, so wherever you go, you have the ability to load it and carry it with you as you go. The truck, you got to go find it and stack it on the truck. Alright, that's the bulk of that down here. Now I'll get some from the other end. quite a bit with you when you go, that's for sure. When I dumped the first pile over by the burn pile, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of material in there. I didn't realize I got that much packed in it. I should have grabbed my rake while I was at the shop. The excavator. That viewer asked why I don't use the thumb with that rake. Well, I should have touched on this in the video with the rake. The reason I don't is because the way the tube of the rake is, it hits the thumb and it doesn't allow the thumb to come far enough down to pinch against it. That tube kind of needs, the pins need set forward a little more and set the tube of the rake a little farther back is what needs to be done, and that's a modification I could do. I have to do that sometime. Just redo the pin bosses on the rake and make that so that that'll work. I want to get this stump in there. Grab it just like so. The greatest weather today, that's for sure. It's just a nasty wet day. We ended up starting the day off with going and getting my additives for my feed, and then we went and got a gazebo out of the bottom of a swimming pool. It was an above ground pool. Oh, I shouldn't have swung the bucket over the truck. That was a rookie mistake. Then anyways, got away with it in the operators competition. I didn't do it, of course. Some others did it, and that shaved some time off of their whole deal. Kind of wasn't fair. Anyways, went and got this gazebo out of the swimming pool, and I don't know how they got so lucky, but the wind blew the gazebo off of the deck into the swimming pool and did not puncture the swimming pool liner. I did get a video of it, of getting it out. We took the service truck, our old Ford cab over service truck, and used the crane on it to get the gazebo out. Somebody should go buy a lottery ticket because they got really lucky that it didn't puncture the liner. The table off of the deck also ended up in the pool, and it didn't puncture it either, and it didn't even break the glass top of the table. So a lot of luck was there. So that was this morning's adventure in the rain. I'm going to have to cancel plow day because the field's not going to be dry enough. I can tell you that right now. Pack that in there. Now let's wipe the window. There we go. There we go. We don't need no payloader. We'll just cancel the transmission. Although the transmission was a lot less than we thought it was going to be. It's only going to be about $7,500 to rebuild it, and they're able to find the parts that we need. What was really interesting about it is the parts that are worn in our transmission are the parts that usually don't wear out. And the owner of the transmission rebuilder asked us what we do with the loader, and we rake brush with it. We don't really load trucks with it or anything like that. We just rake brush, and he's contributing that to the parts that are worn because we're doing a lot of just driving around, and we're not doing a lot of ramming into piles constantly, loading a bucket. So he's thinking that's why that transmission is worn a little differently, and the parts that were worn are available. It had one shaft that spun a bearing on the shaft, but they're able to weld that up, turn it back down, and they're gonna fix that. That's no problem. But it was 85% worn, so it was time to be rebuilt. Hoping to get that back this coming week. We'll see what happens. It is March 28th today, so it'd be nice to get it back here pretty soon and get it put back in. Now that we got the Peterbilt just about done, we'll have more shop space now with that transmission put back in, and it'll be ready for the mad spring rush of brush work that'll probably need to be done. It always seems like some wait till the last minute before they go to plant, and they're like, oh, we want this fence row out, which is fine. But then at the same time, we got our own stuff that we want to get debrushed before we plant. There we go. Got us a nice pile on there now. Look at that. Wonder if you formed all that brush into firewood. Wonder how much firewood would be there. Would there be enough firewood to fill the bed of that truck, I wonder? If it was cut and split? I don't know. Probably not. By the time you take all the air out. I don't know. It's like a load of concrete on a dump truck. If you crush the same load, it does not fill the bed. It doesn't even come close to filling the bed. Alright, I'm going to go dump the truck. Then I got some stumps I got to cut off and all that good stuff. I'm gonna have to walk along and pick a few things up. There's some chunks of wood out there, but for not raking it with the Bobcat, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So I think tomorrow I'll get the chisel plow hooked up to the 8650, and I'll go ahead and I'll work this whole section here, and then I get it prepared for hay. So I want to chisel plow it all. I was gonna moldboard plow it, but there are some rocks out here and I don't want to bust shears off, so just gonna go ahead and get the chisel plow and just chisel plow it and run the soil finisher over it, and then roll it, plant it, call it good. So this first half here from tree line to the driveway will be actual cow pen, and then the next half over from the tree line to the driveway will be hay. So that way it keeps the cows this way towards us, just like we discussed earlier. Oh, another topic I wanted to touch on is everybody points out the front tires on this tractor. The reason these front tires are bald on this tractor is because we used to mow a lot of CRP with it, and we used to mow a lot of roadsides with it, and it never failed. We would put a good tire on it and get punctured. So we started running junk tires on it on the front, and we did on the rear for a while. Well, then we punctured the rear tires, so we ended up getting a set of cheaper rear tires, so that's why they're fairly new. But since we don't mow CRP really anymore, and everything that we mow roadside wise, we kind of mow with the excavator now with the brush mower on it. We're probably going to end up putting all 4 new Firestone all tractions on the 2940, and we're thinking about repainting it. We got to put a PTO clutch in it and do a few other small things. PTO clutch holds pretty good, but when you get in real tough grass or real tough corn stalks with the batwing, it starts to slip, and that's not right. It should kill the motor or bring it down to its knees. So we need to get that done. It held enough to run the ear corn picker, but that really don't pull that hard. But we need to get all that done, and then we're probably going to do a full restore on this tractor. It's actually a real handy tractor to have around, being front wheel assist. A lot of guys cuss these German-built tractors, but I really like it. We really haven't had any issues with it other than the PTO clutch and the minor hydraulic issue that's got where it kind of loses prime every now and then. But that's probably just an O-ring or a cracked tube somewhere. So we'll tear it down, make a good tractor out of it. And it needs a set of front weights. Yeah, that would definitely help. And this disc is a load for it. This disc is a load for a 4430. And when we were clearing a lot of ground, we would set a log on top of it, and that makes it a real load. We were pulling it with the 8640 then. But all right, I think I'm gonna head in the house, get some dinner, and then probably go watch a few episodes of Chernobyl tonight, and then probably call it a day. So thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one.